What's up, you guys? We live. This your boy Town BS Sports and Entertainment. I got a special guest, got the homie coming all the way from Philadelphia, whatever you want to call it. I got the homie Jamil from YSM Media. What's going on, homie? What's going on, peoples?
Town, what's good? YSM Sports Media. Everybody hit me. There's actually a YSM Media. There's actually a guy out there. I don't know what he does, though.
All right. Thanks for the correction. So what's been up with you, man?
Oh, man, slow motion. Yeah, it's kind of slow month for boxing, but of course, you know, like September, October, November, this shit picks up and picks up heavy.
Yeah,
so
it's about to get real heavy. All right, so I wanted to get your thoughts on this. I wanted to hear what you had to say. I ain't gonna keep you too long because I know it's 3 hours ahead out there. So I wanted to get your thoughts. Hey, well, you know what? It was announced yesterday that sent shockwaves through, boxing. A lot of people are outraged about this. Some people are like, and then some people are just like, okay. So I wanted to get your thoughts. I mean, it hasn't been official. I haven't seen nothing in my email from, Tank's team or Jake Paul's team, because usually they email me. But it appears that Tank is set to fight Jake Paul November 15th in the ATL State Farm Arena. And a lot of people are outraged about it. A lot of people are like, okay, yep. It's Tank is who he thought he was. So I wanted to get your opinion on it. Shout out to my boy CB from the Shot. So I wanted to get your opinion about it.
All right, so Mike got it wrong, November 14th. And
okay.
Yeah, and it's official. Netflix put it out. And so if Netflix put it out, I'm gonna take it as it's 100% legit.
Okay. Facts.
Two things can be true. First thing is, I'm not mad at Gervonta Davis. I'm not mad at you for going after the money. Shit, I would go after it too, bro. If you're asking me, the Lamont Roach rematch of Jake Paul, I'm going after Jake Paul. But the reality is, don't say you're the best. Drop the belt. I don't want to hear that I'm the best. No. Like, if you are a big, grand event spectacle guy, then be that. And I'm cool with that. And I'm happy for you. Just, I don't like the blurring of the lines. You're a real boxer when it's convenient. And then, we on like YouTube, Evan Haney's too big to be going up in weight, but I'm gonna go fight a cruiserweight. Feel me? Let's not blur the lines, bro. If you're gonna be about circus events, then shit, get your top hat. But go all the way with it. So I'm happy that he's getting a crazy bag for this. But at the same time, drop the WBA and then move on with your life, move on with your career, because it's clear as day that you aren't invested in boxing as these other guys. And that's your path, you're your own man. But like, let's not hold anybody up because you want to be out here doing whatever you're doing. If that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, this is my thing. This doesn't surprise me about Tank. I was one of the very few people. It's funny, Jamil. I was one of the very few people that didn't think much of Triple G, and Triple G turned out to be everything that I thought he was. Thought Triple G was a complete fraud. I thought he was a guy that got carefully matched with opponents that would fit his style. And then, when he had that life and death fight with Daniel Jacobs and refused to give him a rematch, this was the same thing I was thinking about Tank. Because Tank is a dude, you hear this dude, once again, like you said, he wants to portray himself as this knockout artist. Yes, they put together a great, persona with Tank. He was built carefully, and they made him out to be a star. They promoted him as a knockout artist. But then he started to see some kinks in Tank's armor, because, Jamil, I'll really be watching fights, though. And I was watching Tank through the years, and I was watching him fight, and I saw a lot of kinks in his armor. I was watching him in certain fights. I was watching him versus Rolly. I was watching him closely versus Ryan Garcia. I watched him closely in a few other fights, versus Barrios. And I was like, man, I watched him versus Leo Santa Cruz. I was like, this guy, he get hit. He get hit a lot. And he kind of falls behind in fights. He isn't Floyd, Floyd for the most part. And I know Floyd had, backed him up. And I would be looking at him. I'll be like, this guy falls behind in a lot of his fights. And he really depends too much on knockout power. Can this dude really box? And then the Lamont Roach fight was the indication that I knew he wasn't what he was made out to be. For him to have a life and death, and I know Jamil styles make fights, but for him to have that life and death fight with Lamont Roach, whether you think it was a draw, whether you think Tank edged him, whether you think Lamont Roach won, I thought Roach won, but it showed me that Tank wasn't who a lot of people thought he was, and he definitely wasn't what I knew he always was to be. I thought that he was a manufactured, champion. And then he really doesn't care about belts because he made that very clear. And now he's taking this fight. He's showing me that he's trying to get out of boxing. But then old footage has showed up saying that, hey, he wasn't in it to become a legend and to become the best that ever did it. He basically was chasing a bag. And now, hey, we all know he's chasing a bag. I don't think we're going to see a Devin Haney fight. I don't think we're going to see a Teofimo fight. I don't think we're going to definitely see a Shakur Stevenson fight. I think Tank, and me and you both know, Tank probably is going to make a minimum of $20 million. And from what I was told, I don't know if you heard about this, basically Tank, if he, basically after Tank does this exhibition match, I heard that Manny Pacquiao is in line for Tank at a catch weight if Manny gets past Rolly. They're putting that fight together. They're talking about a catch weight, maybe somewhere between 140 and 143, and then that's basically it. So, I mean, it is what it is with Tank. I understand him chasing the bag, but at the same time, if Tank's career was to end after these next two fights or the Jake Paul fight, Tank is not a Hall of Famer. So, that's basically how I feel about the situation.
Yeah, it's a couple of things that's not fair, though, right? But I want to get to Tanya. Tanya, this was always the plan. Jake Paul was always next. It was the Lamont Roach draw that kind of upset it. It was supposed to be no talks about a Lamont Roach 2. Jake was always the play. Now to tell you, it's something that we've heard for like the last 5 or 6 months. We just didn't know how when you hear something that's like, for real? Yeah.
Well, me and you kind of had heard about it. And then when you look at Tank's last fight, Jake Paul was there.
So I didn't know if the trigger would be pulled on it, but I've heard that was next. Town heard that was next. And then the draw, so we like, okay, is he going to run it back with Lamont? August 16th, okay, he gets booked, and then now he's just saying, fuck it, going straight into it. Now, styles make fights. So I think Tank is a complete fighter. I do. I think Tank is a really, really good fighter. How good? I don't know. We're never going to know. We are never going to know how good Tank is. Tank is going to be one of the biggest what ifs in boxing, and he doesn't care. And so if he doesn't care, why the fuck should I? If I'm all about honesty. If you tell me exactly what your goal is, I'm not going to criticize you for it. If you tell me my goal is to get all these belts and you attempt to get all the belts, I'm rocking with you. If you tell me my goal is for the biggest fights and you trying to do that, I'm rocking with you. If you tell me, look, bro, I'm trying to get paid, I'm definitely rocking with you. But when people like pick and choose and I want this big fight, but no, I'm gonna stay away from this guy. And that's where you lose me at. That's where you lose me when you start to deviate from whatever the mission is. unless there's something preventing you from the mission. There is nothing preventing Tank from getting the biggest names in the sport of boxing. He is making a conscious choice. And if he's making a conscious choice, that's what he wants to do. It's his life, it's his career. And who am I to tell a man how to live? But when people ask me who was the best fighters of this generation, you're not going to be somebody I mentioned because I don't know.
Yeah, I understand that, but me just evaluating Tank probably is going to be a forgotten memory, because if he goes through with this fight and then he just walks off in the sunset or whatever the case may be, Tank is not going to be a dude that we're going to talk about like 20 years from now, because I mean, if you really look at his resume, like where he is now at age 30, his resume isn't really all that impressive. I mean, if you look at some of the dudes he's fought past their prime, a couple of past their prime guys that was scratching the pound per pound list, like Gamboa, some other people. But the Lomachenko fight fell through for whatever reason. I already know why Lomachenko really got out of that fight. But you just looking at Tank at age 30, you just got to tell the truth about his resume. His resume isn't very impressive. And I think that's the problem. I just think doesn't think, looking at him, who he's fought at age 30 versus other dudes at age 30.
Now,
That's the problem. That is the problem. And that's the key
here's what you're
problem.
not saying, Town. Here's what you're not saying. He has a solid resume. But the big elephant in the room is Tank's resume and accomplishments doesn't match his star power. And that's what people have the issue with. In the days of us watching boxing growing up, the guys with the mega star power was the guys who were the most accomplished, the guys that fought the best opposition. Today, that's not the case. Today, people become popular for different reasons. Boxing now is more like music. The most popular artist is not the best singer in music. The most popular rapper is not the best rapper. That's what boxing is right now.
I mean, what do you make of the whole thing with Jake Paul? And I'm scratching my head thinking to myself, how did a dude somehow, some way, just come out of nowhere, who basically was a YouTuber and a failed actor, now all of a sudden, whether you like it or not, he's solidified, he's synonymous with boxing. And then you look at his resume, which is god awful, but somehow when you think of boxing, you have to mention this dude. And I'm like, how in the fuck did something like this happen? Who's responsible for this? Is this where boxing went, based off the fact, over the past 10 years per se, you just saw all the politics. You saw the network banging. You saw all the, oh, well, I don't want to fight this dude. He doesn't have a belt. Oh, he on the wrong side of the street, the last house on the left, 227, I mean, is that what led to this stuff? Because when you look at it, this dude was a content creator, but now he is synonymous with boxing. How is it that this dude comes out of nowhere and less than 15 fights? He's probably made more money in less than 15 fights than what some fighters have made their whole career. Is anybody's guess how much he's worth? But he's made a shitload of money, and I'm thinking to myself, how did something like this happen? How did we allow this to happen, and who do we blame for this?
Everything's about being popular, Town. The most popular people in the world now are these streamers, and all they do is dumb shit. People are attracted to dumb shit. And so you got those same people that garner these huge followings from doing dumb shit are transitioning into sports, in which they're bringing a non-sports following, and networks are going to pay them handsomely for it. Simple, man. Simple.
Yeah.
Everything's about selling tickets and viewership. And Jake Paul brings that.
Yeah, it's a sad day where we're actually talking about this dude. We're actually, the funny thing is, I'm really trying to let this sink in. Me and you are actually having a conversation about a failed actor, but it is what it is. What it is. What do you think happened along the way to where, like, we just couldn't get these matches? I mean, it took far too long to get Spence versus Crawford. It finally happened, and then Bud did what he did, but now Bud is now facing Canelo in about 3 weeks. I wanted to get your take on that fight, because me myself, as I told you behind the scenes, I just have so many different scenarios on how this fight could turn out. I can see Bud going in there completely dominating Canelo. Then I can see Bud having his way with Canelo, and then Bud hit with something, and then the fight is over. Or I can see Canelo, keeping it close, and then doing what he usually does in the middle rounds, fade. And if Bud can keep his composure and basically Bud pick his spots, he could actually win this fight. And then I'm also looking at another scenario. You already know when you fight Canelo, you pretty much down 4 rounds instantly. Like Bibble was when you read the scorecard. All 3 of the judges had Bibble losing the first 4 rounds, which was absurd. So I wanted to get your scenario on Terrence Crawford versus Canelo. Can you hear me? Hey, Jamil, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I had to leave the crib real fast. For that particular fight, Town, I ain't even gonna lie, man. I think that's it's a 50-50 fight, and I'm not sure how it's going to look. Thing is the size, all right? So Canelo Alvarez is clearly the bigger, how much bigger question. Can Terrence Crawford absorb not just the clean shots from Canelo, but the shots on the hips, the shots on the shoulders, the shots on the neck? That's how 20 pounds over what he normally fights at. How explosive he's going to be, how twitchy, how quick. Canelo Alvarez still can't cut the ring off. Can Terrence Crawford hurt Canelo Alvarez? I got more questions than answers. And that's what makes this a really, really intriguing fight, because you're dealing with the bigger man who doesn't have a bigger frame, so to speak. Like Crawford's taller, Crawford's longer. Crawford might be physically stronger than Canelo. I know Canelo has more power at that weight, but I don't know, man. I don't know. And the elephant in the room is the scorecards. What are the scorecards going to look like? Can Terrence Crawford get a fair shake? Is Terrence Crawford being with Turkey going to make this fight even, or going to give him the edge? I don't know. I don't, man. I just can't wait. I tell you like this though. In about a week, in 1 week's time, Town, that fight is going to be looked at completely different. It's going to be some news that breaks that everybody's going to be like, yo, what the fuck? And I can't wait for it.
So you saying something?
I'm sitting on something. I'm sitting on something that's going to break the internet. And when it comes out, it's going to come out next week. When it comes out, it's going to be like, damn.
Well, let me ask you about this news. Who does this news favor? Does it favor Bud?
I don't know, man. We gotta see. We gotta see. But I'm not even gonna give nobody no hints, no nothing like that. It's just gonna be like, damn. Like, right, okay. So, I can't wait to watch it.
Okay. Well, I was supposed to go there, but UFC, they they fiddling daddling with the media credentials because basically you had to go through UFC. They didn't ask for so much stuff to where I'm just like, you know what, I'm good. I
Yeah,
got.
you got the link because I have it with TKO, but I don't have it with UFC. They have
Oh
like a
yeah,
completely different system.
yeah. I'll hook you up. I'll send it to you probably. If not today, I'll send it to you like tomorrow. So, okay. So one last question. I wanted to ask you about Boots' upcoming fight. Boots is going to be fighting. What, October the 11th at the Wells Fargo Center.
Yeah, well,
Like
it's
I
called Xfinity something now. They just changed it, but yeah.
well, y'all finna move into a new arena within the next few years anyway. So that's about to be a parking lot anyway, or whatever,
This is
whatever.
true.
So they finna build y'all a state of the art arena in the downtown area. So I don't even know why they changing the names, but the 76ers only gonna be there for about 3 more years, but it is what it is. So is it true that Boots, like, basically the Virgil Ortiz Junior fight is pretty much signed, sealed? Basically, just a couple of things got to happen. Virgil got to take care of business. Look like he's gonna be fighting Erickson Lubin and in Texas, and then
I'm
Boots
scared
got
to
his
death of
fight
that fight.
coming up.
Yeah. All right. So everything on Boots is in is done. Right. Boots doesn't have to do anything. All Virgil has to do is end up signing to the terms that Golden Boy and Eddie Hearn agreed to. Will he? With the way his manager's talking, I don't know. It seemed the vibe that I'm getting is Virgil's manager preferred the fight being Jaron Ennis's first fight at 154, being
Yeah.
that Virgil had 3 to 4 fights already, and that he would have. I think that would be the best chance that he had. Is Boots not acclimated to the way Virgil's acclimated? That's the best shot that he has. Because if you watch boxing, you know there's a clear separation in skill set, talent, and ability. And I don't think that he likes the fight with Boots having a fight at 54, because you can't say that the zone doesn't want it. You can't say Oscar doesn't want it. You can't say that Eddie doesn't want it. You can't say that Boots doesn't want it. There's only
Mm.
one person that will be holding up that fight. And I'm scared to death for the Lubin fight. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Petrified. I
I
think
mean,
that Lubin is very capable of beating Virgil Ortiz, and that's going to fuck up what Boots got planned. So
I think Lubin is a little bit of damaged goods because I think he never really recovered from the Jamil Charlo. I don't think he really recovered from that fight. And then you seen what happened with him and Fundora, which, by the way, I am not a big fan of Pandora. I think that's atrocious that you got a dude that should be basically a power forward fighting at 154. I think that's really, like, I know they don't have a height requirement, minimum or maximum, but I just don't respect Fundora basically being almost the size of Joe Embiid, fighting at 154. That'll be, so that's what I think. But I think Virgil Ortiz. So I think Virgil Ortiz will put together something good enough to get him out of there probably within 5 or 6 rounds, and then we move on to that. Okay, so where is Virgil Ortiz and Boots likely to take place?
Vegas.
Okay, uh, T-Mobile, MGM Grand, or what's the
I
other one? The
I didn't
Michelob
hear his
Ultra.
venue. The only thing I heard was Vegas, early part of next year. But now with the Lubin fight being in November, it's probably going to get pushed back to, like, I'm gonna say, like April.
Could they get it? Could they get it done like in March, like late March? That still would qualify like the first quarter or quota.
Um, that's going to be a stretch because Virgil's going to be fighting what 4 weeks after Boots almost, and so yeah, I see it late March, April, unless they do like Cinco de Mayo. But yeah, that's that because he's fighting in November. And look, he was supposed to look good against Boyachuk. Boyachuk had been stopped by Brandon Adams. He had been damaged goods. And you saw how that fight looked.
Yeah, interesting. I think Virgil Ortiz punching power kind of like is like the
And
you know
the
the
narrative is
difference
that Boots is
maker.
a coward.
But I
And
think
so
Boots got better skill set than Virgil Ortiz. But I'm taking Boots. I'm taking Boots in the fight though. I'm taking Boots in the fight for a lot of different reasons. So I'm just gonna keep it 100 because basically I'm on my platform. Boots look like me, so I'm not gonna go against him anyway. Yeah, I said it and I stand on that shit. I'm not,
hey,
I just gotta keep it 100. I'm
yo,
riding with Boots.
and,
Real
and the
talk.
thing is, I'm not mad at that because I see my Mexican brothers always talking about La Raza. So if it's La Raza for you, then it's La Raza for us. That and you don't gotta denigrate somebody to support your own. You can just support your own.
Facts. But you know, Jamil, I got a big following in Philly. So, I gotta do that anyway. So, I got a big following. They love me out there. So I gotta, what I'm saying, Philly is like my second home though, you know. And I ran up the Rocky stairs. So, I got a lot of time. And I've been all over Philly though. I've been to the worst parts I've been to the worst parts of Philly. So, it is what it is though. But I'm riding with Boots anyway. But I think Boots gonna pull it off. I just think Virgil Ortiz got a puncher's chance. We both know that Virgil can't outbox Boots. That's fact. I just think it's gonna come down to punching power. Can Virgil land something meaningful? And Boots has shown that he's sturdy. So I haven't really seen Boots like hurt in the fight. So at the end of the day, I am going with Boots. I think he'll win the fight. I got him winning the fight though. But a lot of stuff got to happen. Let's see what happens with Lubin and Virgil Ortiz. But I think Virgil Ortiz will get past Lubin and do his thing.
I'm hoping, Tal. How do you got that fight ending?
Which one? Well,
Both.
Boots, I think Boots will get the stoppage in his upcoming fight. I think Boots knows what's on the line. I think Boots is gonna make short work of this dude. I think he's gonna get down to business because he knows the showcase fight is coming up with Virgil Ortiz. And I think Ruben will have some moments, but I just think Virgil Ortiz is going to overwhelm him with his power, and Virgil Ortiz probably stops him probably within 6 rounds. And then basically we can get the discussion going about the super showdown that's going to take place in Las Vegas, which hopefully your boy will be there. In all likelihood, I will be there. So, well, what about you?
You think he gonna stop? You think he gonna stop Lubin in 6 rounds? You crazy, Tal. Tal, you wilding. Ain't no way you can believe that.
I think he gonna get him out. I think he gonna get him out of there. I think he gonna get him out of there. I think that's why. I think that's why they chose Lubin. They're hoping that scenario happens.
Oh
But
man, all right.
You going with
Yo,
Lubin?
I'm rooting for Virgil Ortiz because I don't want it to be any excuses. When I want him to be undefeated going into that fight. No excuses for what happens to him. Respectfully, and I like Virgil as a person. He's a good kid, good fighter. But the trolls have talked a lot of shit. The trolls have
Of course.
put smut. They put smut on Boots' name. And so I don't want it to be any excuses when they fight. No, I want Virgil at his best. No hand injuries. You done had your tune up because when people see what it looks like, then I want you to give credit. Because Stanionis, people, oh man, Boots done had 34 tune-ups, 34 bums, and this and that. When is he gonna fight somebody? Like he not fresh off of a unifying welterweight. They pick and choose. When it's Tank, it's, oh, we want to see him fight the other champions. Boots fights the other champions. Oh no, we want to see him move up to 54. And oh no, why is he always fighting the smaller guy? And then why is he not fighting the smaller guy? It's always something, yo. So no. I want Virgil Ortiz to look phenomenal against Lupin. Phenomenal. I want him to look like he's a fucking monster. So when he gets cooked, now you got to say Boots is exactly what we say he is.
Okay. All right. So there you have it. Hey, Jamil, appreciate you coming on here, man. Your boy finna go in here and eat because it's all, but hey, I'll come on your platform too, man. We'll chop it up on your platform too. Just let me know.
Hey, Town, I appreciate you. I had to like run out to the store for the little lady. She's not feeling good, so that's what you hear, like the shit in the background. But I appreciate you, bro.
All right. Oh, hey, Jamil, before you go, I wanted you to do me a solid. I got some local fighters, and I'm trying to get them on some bigger platforms and stuff. So they trying to get their name out there. They some some young hungry kids. So, but they all about that action though. So, I wanted to see could I throw them your way and stuff. So, I'm trying to put them. I'm trying to get them put on because your channel is showing up in Google now. So that means you big time in it.
Yeah, all right. But no, man, I'm all about grassroots boxing. I'm all about real sports. So not just whatever is the hot topics. I interview amateurs. I interview guys that's just starting out pro. Like, I don't care, man. I'm here. I'm here to put people on. And so yeah, send them my way, man.
All right. Hey, so there y'all have it. Subscribe to my man's channel, YSM Media, coming from that Philly. Hey, appreciate you being here, man. Thank you for tapping in, man.
All right, yo. My man.
All right, bro.